Hey, what's going on, friends? It's your boy here, Mama Drew, with episode 1 of kind of a behind-the-scenes talk with me in regards to the piece that I set for my dance home, Fierce Dance Company, this past season. On my piece, Catch That Chick, Carmen, inspired by the TV show Where in the World is Carmen San Diego.
San Diego team is slaying. Especially you, Sean. Go up. I see you, Papi. Go up, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. She said solo, solo, out.
Super clear. Yes, yes, girl.
My favorite thing about this number is that you have legit opportunities for solos, and that's really how life works out.
So cute. Oh my God, I love this concept. Hey, I love these little solo moments. It's nice to see like these little couple seconds of people just popping. It's really fun. So fun. Great energy, great attack, guys. Just like absolutely killing it.
What a cool concept for a hip-hop number. I'm all about it. Such versatile songs and styles. Choreography 100, 100, 100.
Let's see the backstory of the piece. So when I was a little kid on PBS, Channel 10, I used to watch all these different types of shows. I would watch, I don't know if a lot of you guys know about the show Ghost Rider. I would watch that. I would watch old Sherlock Holmes films, cartoons, anything that revolved around like mysteries or whatnot. It was so weird as a kid. That's what I really gravitated to. And at some point growing up as like a teenager and such, I eventually went to college for criminal justice, studying in like forensics and pathology and all of that other stuff. Clearly did not do anything with it, but I just always had an interest in like catching the bad guys. I always wanted to solve a mystery. I always wanted to like try and figure out things as to why people did them, their logic, their rationale behind it, and it just killed my soul whenever like people would like do crimes, and I always wanted to be like a do-gooder. Yeah, I think even now to this day, like I think that's probably why I watch shows like Chicago PD or Law and Order and stuff like that. Like it's funny how things you used to do as a kid always translate into who you are as an adult. So it's just so funny because I still have like that mentality, you know what I mean? But as a kid, I was just in love with this show, and it was on every single time I ran home from school, and it was Where in the World is Carmen San Diego. And literally there were 3 contestants. They were young, they were like my age, and you had to answer like a series of questions about things around the world, yada yada yada, until you caught like her henchman, and then you ended up catching Carmen, which was like the final season of the show. So I think in working in a studio setting where I had young dancers, the idea just came to me, and I said, you know what? I think this might actually be a really, really good concept. So I went along with it, and that was the start of the piece. They are the epitome of hard work, tremendous work ethic, passion. I think that's the one thing that really, really gravitated me to that studio, was the passion that those kids had. And it's rare, let me tell you, it is rare to get that passion from young kids at that age, all right? And I understand they're kids. I mean, kids can be rambunctious. We can run around. We cannot be focused sometimes. I mean, that's part of being a kid, duh. But these kids, I tell my best friend John every time we talk every night, and I'm like, I feel as though like I can put anything on them and I know that they'll just run with it. You know what I mean? And for me as a choreographer and an educator, that is so beautiful to have, because I can do anything. The limit is it's limitless. You know what I'm saying? So like it was a no-brainer to work there, and I've had such an amazing time teaching there and just gaining a lot of relationships with a lot of the students this past season, for sure. In creating the piece, I had to figure out who Carmen was gonna be. Instantly, I knew I kind of wanted it to be a senior, because a lot of the dancers had stated, in the course of like rehearsing with them and stuff like that, they had said, we've never had a piece like this before. And my background is commercial dance, right? So I said, just choose one of the seniors. And Melanie, she just looked like Carmen. Like, she just had this essence and this vibe about her, even from like the old shows and stuff. So I was like, she has to be Carmen. Then from there, I kind of took the rest of the seniors, or the older group, and I made them the detectives. So from a stylistic point of view, from, you know, you guys knowing me being like a fashion person, I said, you know what? They're gonna be the ones in like the plain solid trench coats. They're gonna have like, I was gonna put them in hats originally, but I was like, that's just too much. But I had them in the gloves and a little trench, like it was everything. And then for Carmen's henchmen, I knew I needed 4. I wanted 4 from the small to junior group. And I said, why not have them in all black with like a red belt? Once again, it had to be fashion. Everything has to be fashion with me sometimes. I can't help it. And they had the gloves, and I picked out the 4 henchmen. And then the other dancers were, so on the show they had like actual like jackets, like kind of like sports jacket, like varsity jackets of some kind. Not necessarily varsity jackets, but they had jackets, right? And I told Randy, I was like, I want the other dancers to have like those coats on, and they could just wear the black jeans or whatnot, and those can be the actual contestants. The seniors who wore the actual trench coats were the detectives that were going to find Carmen and the henchmen. Yeah. So that's how I kind of broke all of that down. The hardest part about this was literally finding sound bites online, guys. I had to go on YouTube, literally watch almost 6-8 hours of footage of the actual TV show in order to coincide what locations and countries I wanted to visit. So for instance, one episode, you know, if you really listen to the mix, each villain is in a different location. So there's one in Africa, there's one in Argentina, there's one in, wow, I haven't done the piece in a long time. There was one in Cali, there was one in, where was the one? In Canada, I believe, Canada, and then New York was the finale. Sorry, I have not done this routine in like a long time. So I literally had to go back and watch every single episode, guys, from like the 90s. And I needed to make sure that it coincided with the song choices that I was looking for in those countries. And the songs that I chose had to make sense in that country, which I'll get into as I go into each episode. But yeah, it was a process to try and get this whole shebang together, to be honest with you. It took some time, but I'm the type of person, I don't want to do something that I've seen, and I don't want to do something specifically at a studio competition that I feel like is kind of like meh. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I wanted to test the dancers, but at the same time I wanted to test myself. And I knew the mix had to be different, the songs had to be different. As you guys can see, I really took a lot of time with like the wardrobe of the clothing and everything like that. So everything for me was strategic to a T, but that's me. Anything I ever do is strategic. And yeah, that is pretty much the whole baseline or the story behind, you know, Carmen. You guys found out a little bit about myself, the kids, how I started at Fierce, the wardrobe, the concept, who I chose, why I chose what I chose. And yeah, I guess the next thing to get into is to divvy up the routine in its entirety so you can kind of see where my mind was at, starting with the intro. So with the intro, guys, I will say, I knew I wanted to throw in that original music, that boom bop da ba da doom ba 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 da ooh ba 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 da ooh ba. Hey, well, yeah. I knew I had to use that. I had to start it off. It was up to me, and I had like pyro and a thing to go across the stage or something. I probably would have done that, to be honest with you. But that's not in my budget. But yeah, I had to start off that way. You had the contestants from the show, all the dancers with their coats. You had the henchmen. Carmen makes her way in and the routine starts. And in the background well, actually they don't come on until midway, where they come in until there. But yeah, I knew I had to start it like that, and it was a good opener with the actual theme music, and that's how it started. And then it progresses into different countries from there. So without further ado, guys, this is a compilation of my routine from the intro with our last stage rehearsal in the studio, and then I also have some footage of them actually doing it at their recital as well. So I'm also going to try and find some more footage so you guys can see little bits and pieces of where they did it, when they did it, pictures and such, so you guys can kind of like see it. You guys won't be able to see the full-on performance. A lot of people had the opportunity to do that, but yeah, enjoy, guys, and check them out. Yeah, here goes episode 1. This is the intro to my piece. I think the piece was 7-8 minutes long, but here is the intro. From here on out, guys, I will talk about each country, each segment, and why I chose what I chose, and just to give you a little bit more about what was here. So enjoy, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little inside talk with me, Mama Drew, in the comfort of my home. I will see you guys soon, and be on the lookout for episode 2. Here goes the intro to my piece. Catch that chick, Carmen.